The harsh reality of having a narcissist husband. Motivational speech in the style of Tony Robbins. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get real for a moment. Life doesn't always hand us the fairy tale we imagined. Sometimes it gives us a storm, one that shakes us to our core, tests our limits, and forces us to decide who we truly are. If you're here today, you already know this truth. Being in a relationship with a narcissist is like being trapped in an emotional maze where every turn leads to more confusion, self-doubt, and pain. You felt it, the manipulation, the gaslighting, the way your confidence slowly eroded while you were made to feel like you were the problem. Maybe you even convinced yourself that if you just loved harder, sacrificed more, or became better, he would change. But let's get something straight right now. His behavior is not your fault. You did not sign up to be a punching bag for someone else's insecurities. You were not put on this earth to be diminished, controlled, or drained. And let me tell you something powerful. You are stronger than you think because you're here right now listening to this, searching for clarity. That means a part of you already knows you deserve more. That means a part of you refuses to stay in the darkness. And that part, that's your power. That's the real you. And today I want to help you bring her back. So here's the deal. This journey isn't just about leaving a toxic relationship. It's about reclaiming yourself. It's about breaking free from the lies that have held you captive and stepping into the boldest, most unstoppable version of you. Because no one has the right to take your light away. So if you're tired of the emotional roller coaster, if you're done walking on eggshells, if you're ready to stop questioning your own worth and start living life on your terms, then today is your turning point. The past does not define you. The pain does not own you. The manipulation does not control you. You control you. So take a deep breath, stand up taller, and make a promise to yourself. No more settling for less than you deserve. It's time to take back your power. It's time to step into the life you were meant for. And it all starts right now. Misbehave is not your fault. Let's be real. For far too long, you've carried the weight of his actions like a burden on your back. You've replayed conversations, overanalyzed moments, and convinced yourself that if you had just done one thing differently, maybe, just maybe, he wouldn't have treated you that way. But that's the biggest lie of all. His choices, his manipulation, his cruelty, none of that is on you. That's his baggage, not yours. You see, people like him thrive on shifting the blame. They make you feel like you're always falling short, like you're the one causing the chaos. And the moment you start to believe it, they win. Because when you blame yourself, you stop seeing reality for what it is. You get stuck in the cycle, always trying to fix something that was never yours to fix. Here's the truth. You could have been perfect in every way, more patient, more loving, more forgiving, but it still wouldn't have changed him because it was never about you. It was about his need for control, his need to feel superior, his need to make someone else smaller so he could feel bigger. You are not responsible for his wounds. You are not responsible for healing him. You are not responsible for his inability to love you the way you deserve. Let that sink in for a second. Because the moment you truly understand this, you take back your power. When you stop owning what isn't yours, you free yourself from the cycle. You stop wasting energy on trying to decode his mixed signals. You stop apologizing for things that were never your fault. You stop walking on eggshells, hoping to avoid the next explosion. Because guess what? No matter how careful you are, no matter how much you try to predict his moods, there will always be another explosion. There will always be another accusation, another guilt trip, another mind game. Because that's who he is. That's what he does. And no amount of effort from you will ever change that. So take a deep breath, let go of the shame, release the guilt, stop looking in the mirror and wondering what you did wrong, because you did nothing wrong. You are not crazy. You are not too sensitive. You are not unlovable. You are not the problem. And when you stop carrying the blame, something incredible happens. You start seeing the truth with crystal clarity. You start remembering who you were before you tried to rewrite your story. You start feeling the strength that was inside you all along. You see, the only way to take back your life is to take back your truth, and the truth is simple. His behavior is not your fault. His words do not define you. His actions do not control you. And the moment you own that truth, you start breaking free. Gaslighting is not reality. Let's talk about the mind games. The way he makes you question everything. The way he twists words, rewrites history, and flips the script until you don't even trust yourself anymore. This is called gaslighting, and it's one of the most dangerous weapons in his arsenal. Because if he can control the way you see reality, he can control you. Think about it. How many times have you caught him in a lie only for him to turn it around and make you feel like you imagined it? How many times has he invalidated your feelings, making you believe you were overreacting? How many times have you doubted your own memory, your own intuition, your own sanity? Because he convinced you that what you experienced wasn't real. This is not love. This is manipulation. This is control. This is how someone keeps you trapped in a relationship where they hold all the power. And the only way to escape it is to reclaim your reality. The next time he tells you that you're crazy, remind yourself that your feelings are valid. The next time he says, I never said that, when you know he did, trust yourself. The next time he makes you feel like you're the one destroying the relationship, take a step back and ask yourself, who is really benefiting from this illusion? Because here's what you need to understand. People who love you do not distort your reality. People who respect you do not make you question your own mind. People who are safe do not make you feel like you're losing yourself. And I know when you've been in this dynamic for so long, it's hard to see where the lies end and the truth begins. But deep down, you know, there's a part of you that has always known. And that part of you, that's your power. That's your truth. And the moment you start trusting it again, everything changes. You deserve the love that uplifts you, not dreams you. Real love does not leave you exhausted at the end of every day. Real love does not make you feel like you're constantly in a battle to prove your worth. Real love does not take more than it gives, leaving you depleted, broken, and empty inside. You were not put on this earth to be a source of supply for someone else's ego. You were not born to live in survival mode, constantly trying to keep the peace, constantly giving more than you receive. That is not love. That is servitude. That is emotional slavery. That is a prison built out of manipulation and fear. Love, real love, lifts you up. It gives you energy. It makes you feel seen. It nurtures your soul. It does not keep you small. It does not require you to become less so someone else can feel like more. But here's the catch. You can only experience that kind of love when you believe you deserve it. And after years of being drained, years of being conditioned to accept breadcrumbs, years of being told that your needs are too much, you might have forgotten what real love even feels like. But let me tell you something. You have the power to redefine love for yourself. You have the power to say, I am done accepting less than I deserve. You have the power to walk away from anything that does not honor your soul. Because the second you do that, you create space for something better. You open the door to the kind of love that doesn't just fill the emptiness, because real love doesn't find you empty, it finds you whole. And it sees you, honors you, and celebrates you for exactly who you are. Walking away isn't weakness, it's power. How many times have you been told you're just giving up too easily? How many times has he made you feel like walking away means you failed, like leaving means you're weak, like staying and suffering is some kind of badge of honor? Let me tell you something right now. Walking away is not weakness. Walking away is the most powerful thing you will ever do. Because staying in a toxic relationship doesn't mean you're strong. It means you've been conditioned to believe that suffering is love. It means you've been manipulated into thinking that loyalty means self-destruction. It means you've been convinced that your needs don't matter. But the moment you walk away, that's the moment you take back your life. That's the moment you say, I refuse to let this define me. That's the moment you reclaim your identity, your strength, your freedom. And I know it's terrifying. I know it feels impossible. But let me tell you something. You are capable of so much more than you think. You are stronger than you've been led to believe. And the second you decide that you deserve better, everything starts to shift. Your self-worth is non-negotiable. Let's talk about something that no one ever had the courage to tell you. Your worth is not up for debate. It is not something that can be negotiated, bartered, or stripped away by someone else's opinion. It is not something that fades just because someone refuses to see it. Your worth is not measured by how much someone loves you or how much they hurt you. But here's what happens. When you're in a toxic relationship, you start believing that your value is based on how well you can meet his impossible expectations. You start thinking that if you could just be better, more patient, more understanding, more forgiving, maybe then you'd finally be enough for him. But let's get real. He will never see your worth because he doesn't even see his own. And the truth is, you never lost your worth. It was always there. It was just buried under years of lies, gaslighting, and emotional exhaustion. It was covered by the weight of someone else's inability to love you the way you deserved. But guess what? Just because he couldn't see your worth doesn't mean it wasn't there. A diamond doesn't stop being valuable just because someone refuses to recognize it. The sun doesn't stop shining just because someone chooses to live in the dark. And you do not stop being worthy just because someone tried to convince you otherwise. So today, I want you to make a decision, a bold decision. From this moment forward, your worth is not something you will ever question again. It is not something you will let someone else determine. It is not something that is conditional on whether or not someone else approves of you. You are not too much. You are not unworthy. You are not difficult. You are not a problem that needs fixing. You are a force, a light, a soul that deserves to be nurtured, cherished, and loved. Not just by others, but by yourself. And the moment you decide to stop seeking validation from someone who was never capable of giving it in the first place, you reclaim yourself. You start walking, talking, and breathing like someone who knows their worth. You stop accepting the bare minimum. You stop explaining yourself to people who are committed to misunderstanding you. You stop giving unlimited chances to someone who has already proven they don't deserve them. Because your self-worth is non-negotiable. It is not something to be argued over. It is a fact. And from today forward, you will treat it like one. Best revenge is living a free, joyful life. Let's be real. After everything he put you through, after all the lies, the manipulation, the pain, there's a part of you that wants justice. There's a part of you that wants him to see what he lost. There's a part of you that wants him to wake up one day and realize that he destroyed the best thing that ever happened to him. But let me tell you something. Revenge is not found in proving anything to him. Revenge is found in no longer caring what he thinks at all. Because here's the hard truth. He will never have the self-awareness to truly understand what he did. He will never wake up and feel the guilt you want him to feel. He will never give you the closure you crave. But you know what? You don't need it. You don't need him to see your worth. You don't need him to regret losing you. You don't need him to acknowledge the pain he caused. Because the real victory, the real revenge, it's healing, it's moving forward, it's reclaiming your life and making it so full, so beautiful, so powerful that he becomes nothing but a distant, irrelevant memory. Because the best way to win is to live so freely, so unapologetically, so fully that his control over you completely disappears. He wanted to break you, but you're still standing. He wanted to dim your light, but you're shining brighter than ever. He wanted to make you feel small, but you are rising. And one day you will look back and realize that he was never the thing that defined you. He was just the thing that led you back to yourself. You are stronger than you think. I know what you're thinking. You've been through hell. You've been drained, exhausted, and beaten down by words that cut deeper than any knife. You've spent nights crying yourself to sleep, days pretending everything was fine when it wasn't. You've questioned yourself more times than you can count. And now the idea of starting over feels terrifying. But let me tell you something. You are so much stronger than you think. Because the fact that you are here right now reading this means you already have more strength than you realize. It means that no matter how many times he tried to tear you down, there was a part of you that refused to be destroyed. There was a part of you that held on, a part of you that still believed in something better. And that part of you, that's the part that's going to get you through this. That's the part that's going to rebuild your life. That's the part that's going to take you from surviving to thriving. You don't need to have all the answers right now. You don't need to have it all figured out. All you need is to take one step forward, one decision to choose yourself, one commitment to say, I deserve more. And that one step, that's the beginning of everything. Because the truth is, the strength you're looking for is already inside you. It always has been. It was never lost. It was just buried under the lies, the fear, the pain. But now you get to uncover it. Now you get to reclaim it. You survived the worst. You made it through the storm. And now it's time to rise. Now it's time to build. Now it's time to step into the person you were always meant to be. They shot hardship place. See it there. Take a deep breath. Feel it. That fire inside you, it's still there. It never went out. For too long, you've been told that you're not enough, that you're too much, that you're the problem. But today we shatter that illusion. Today, you take back your power. No more apologizing for existing. No more questioning your reality. No more walking on eggshells, waiting for permission to be happy. Because happiness is not something you wait for. It's something you choose. And guess what? You don't need his approval to start over. You don't need closure to move forward. You don't need a guarantee that everything will be easy. All you need is one decision. A decision to put yourself first, a decision to stop settling, a decision to break free, not just from him, but from the version of yourself that accepted less than she deserved. Because you are not weak, you are not broken, you are not a victim, you are a warrior. You are unstoppable. You are stepping into the greatest chapter of your life. And years from now, when you look back at this moment, you won't see pain. You won't see regret. You'll see the day you took control, the day you chose yourself, the day everything changed. This is your moment. This is your breakthrough. This is where you rise.